Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, 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 everyone at Oneness Talk Radio. It is a pleasure to be with you here at Awakenings Moments to Inspire. I am Angela, or Angel with an A, and I am so happy to be here with you. And I have a special host, guest, host, guest. We'll work on that. Anyway, I have a special guest today, and because she is so intertwined with everything that goes on with what I've been doing in the last month and what I'm moving forward into the next month, I thought there's makes no sense to have her off camera for 15 minutes or 20, whatever, and then bring her on. So I just had to bring her on. Natasha, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, I'm so honored to be here. I love
Oh,
it.
So we are, let's get some business out of the way. We are broadcasting live at Oneness Talk Radio, YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio, Facebook, and onenesstalkradio.com. So you can catch us all there and all of those platforms. And in all of those beautiful platforms, we also have chats available, and they all get funneled here to us in the studio. So you can then, we can chat together and co-create this hour. So if you have any sharings or anything about what we're speaking to, or even if you just want to chat amongst yourselves, put it in the chat. Co-create this hour together. That's what it's all about. Right, Natasha?
Yes.
Exactly.
Nation and
Uh,
community.
yes. And that's really what I've been feeling into is the community that we've created over it's over the course of the 6 years that I've been involved with the Yoga of Self-Ascension. I've met Natasha through following the Yoga of Self-Ascension, so the community and the sense of community has become so strong, particularly in the last month, and, I can't wait to dive into that with you, coming up. It's so rich and so much to talk about, but so let's get all the left brain stuff out of the way first. First thing that's coming up is New Year's. I don't know what you guys are doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm having a family celebration to ring in the new year. But then prior to that, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be part of the New Year's celebration at Tosa Blue Mountain. So if you want to know more about the New Year's celebration, sign up for the actual Zoom link. Now they are going to be putting it on YouTube and Facebook, I believe. But if you actually physically sign up, you're going to get all the Zoom links and the videos sent to you, and they are asking for a donation, which goes to Global Minga, which we'll talk about later because both Natasha and I love Global Minga. But if you want to know more about the New Year's and probably most of the things that are coming up here that I'm about to talk to, just head on over to shriankira.com and get signed up for the New Year's. And the best part about it is right after the New Year's, we're moving into something called the 7 days of rest. And Shri and Kira will be doing 2 daily broadcasts on the 7 days of rest. And you will be also included in those links as well. So when you sign up for New Year's and get the Zoom links, you'll get the Zoom links for the 7 days of rest as well. So that's coming up the very beginning of January. So after the big celebration and the planting of the seed, right, Natasha? The planting. Natasha loves her seeds. And
Yeah,
the
never
planting, they're,
underestimate.
they mean new life, right? Like they just have so much the potentiality enclosed in that tiny little vessel is just enormous. And so we're planting the seeds of the celebration and what we want to birth in the new year. And then we're going to spend the 7 days of rest cementing that and anchoring that, right? I think that's for me, that's the whole purpose of it is and moving forward. At least that's my plan. Is to sit in contemplation and cement that birthing process. What else we got coming up, going on? Oh, I think Jess is holding a full moon this month, and if you need more information, I don't have her widget up here. Oh, yes, I do. Just go over to selfascensionstudios.com and sign. She usually has any information about her full moons coming up on her website. So head on over there. She will have any information about the full moon. And then the new moon also I will be holding the regular new moon which will be the 21st. I think the full moon is the 7th and the new moon is the 21st in January. So, again, I'll be holding that, and you can just go to waterloveandlight@gmail.com and sign up for that. Um, or just send me an email and I will send you the link for that when that comes up. So that will be again the 21st of January. I'm trying to keep calendar dates in my head right now, which is proving to be interesting. Um, and then there were so many beautiful creations coming out in the month of November and December, in particular, the 2 books of the Ascension Renaissance, right, Natasha?
Oh
To
yeah, they're amazing.
they're totally amazing, and I do believe that the hard copy is gonna be coming out soon, but the digital copy is completely available over at Kindle. Go to Amazon Smile and sign up there, first before you head over to Amazon Kindle. So, and when you go to Amazon Smile and you plunk in this information, the Association for the Integration of the Whole Person in Bonsall, California, what that is the CO, what is it in the United States, Natasha? CO, what's the
Uh,
nonprofit anyway.
the
Uh,
nonprofit, yeah.
yeah, it's a nonprofit ministry. So what happens is, I love this part because, um, when you go to Amazon and you're just buying your regular things through Amazon, if you've gone through the Amazon Smile process, it actually, through your purchases, Amazon donates to your cause. And one of our causes, is literally saving the Amazon. And Shri and Kira are part of that. And again, you can learn more about that and the New Year's celebrations that are going on at Tosha. They have beautiful elders from the Amazon that are going to be holding space and in ceremony with them during those celebrations. So the Amazon is near and dear to our hearts. So we definitely would like to have Amazon help the Amazon, as what Master Lady Kira Rao likes to say. So head on over to Amazon Smile first for sure. And then we are also putting together the community of Global Minga. There's so many projects, but there is one in particular that's part of the Yoga of Self Ascension and Global Minga that is truly dear to my heart, which is an idea that one of our community members, Gary, and his wife Lynn came up with, which is to gather all of the stories, poetry, art that the communities and the spiritual community and the people that we all love and are attached to have created over their journey, and that they're wanting to then gift to the world. Their stories of inspiration, their stories of miracles, their stories of just climbing out from and seeing the gloriousness of their life, right? And climbing out of their burdens. And so I'm just trying to feel into all energy. The Global Minga is amazing, but if you have these stories to share and you feel called to share them, again, just send me an email over to Water, Love, and Light, because what we're doing is we're collecting these all up, and we're going to kind of do the best way to describe it is a chicken soup for the soul book, but it's more like a Global Minga Yoga of Self Ascension inspiration for the soul book, and we're going to use that as a fundraiser for Global Minga, which is exactly what the Ascension Renaissance books are that Shri and Kira have put out too. 100% of the purchase of those books is going to go to Global Minga. And I am just going to Global Minga, I could sit there and gush all day. And Natasha, did you want to say something about Global Minga? Because it is your baby, your you so near and dear to your heart. Natasha started the if you have never gone over to it, and I'm sorry I don't have a widget for it, but the Global Minga Ascension Renaissance Facebook group.
Mhm.
Natasha started and basically runs that, and she is doing a fabulous, fabulous job. So Natasha, Global Minga. Tell us about
Global
Global Minga.
is well, the Facebook group is where we can go and just share our experiences and just celebrations and everything as a community and co-create. Global Minga is like everyone coming together and helping each other and lifting each other up and supporting people and making just the world a better place. And there's a whole bunch of projects going on at the moment, like building houses for people who don't have houses. Like they just passed out 500 Christmas presents in Ecuador to kids and had a big celebration. And some of them will be there at the New Year celebration. So you definitely want to register so you can see them dancing their
Yeah, all the
dances
kids are
for
gonna
the
be at
celebration and everything.
oh, it's gonna be so amazing.
Then we have like the Amazon, saving the Amazon, and the traditions of the indigenous. And what else?
There
Pyramid of Peace, the Pyramid of Peace, which is
pyramid,
an
the
amazing
biggest one of all, the pyramids
bamboo pyramid that sits on Tosa Blue Mountain. It's amazing. It's a Guinness Book World Record, actually.
holder. Yeah, the largest freestanding bamboo pyramid in the world, all made with natural materials, no electricity. Yeah, and it's just magnificent to behold. It really truly is. If you ever get a chance to go on over to Shri and Kira, the Global Mingo website, we all have pictures of it all over. Even Oneness has pictures of the Peace Pyramid up. So head on over to their Facebook groups because there you can see the glorious pictures of it in action right there in front of you. I love just the simple things, the daily day things that Global Minga help with. Like, they were assisting in getting computers and
Oh
technology
yeah.
to the villages and assisting with making sure they had adequate homes and places to live and just even the big beautiful global things are wonderful like the pyramids and peace, but when you really pull down the essence of Global Minga is the community that you build around yourself, and then they build around themselves, and then they build around themselves until the next thing you know, it's like global all around the world. It's just truly, truly amazing. I love it.
Yes, making sure people have food, water, and shelter. Yes.
Yeah,
And just the love and support and upliftment and just that community and co-creating and doing what you can to help.
yeah, truly, truly amazing. You know what? I was just so excited that we dove in. And Gary is here. Namaste, Gary. Gary's our beautiful mastermind for our little inspiration for the soul book. And he's saying that he has more poems to send over to me. I can't wait, Gary. I can't wait. Yay. I'm just making sure I before we dive in, I want to do some Ave Saw breaths and just then dive into the ascended numerology of the day and then literally just dive into what we wanted to talk about today because it's 20 after now. And if we could go on forever and ever and ever, seriously, we could. Um, but let's do some Ave Saw breaths and we'll bring the container in and the space around us and then we'll talk about the ascended numerology for the day. So we're going to put our hands to our hearts and we're going to do 3 deep Ave Saw breaths. Ave on the inhale, hail to the divine, and then the saw or the release and the surrender to the moment on the exhale, surrender to the energies. And here we go. Let's do it 3 times. Ave. 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 And the ascended numerology is a 7 for today. And it's also a 7 for the month. And it is also a month of awareness. So I'll just read the very simple, basic description of what the 7 in ascended numerology is. And I love this because, of course, it had to be a 7. The harmony of the master and recognition of service. Claim divine mastery presence. And it fits right into what we wanna talk about today, which is, like, that holding that space of non-judgment and loving detachment, and basically how you get there is by claiming your divine mastery presence. So, of course, it had to be a
Right.
7, right?
Of course it's a 7.
What's calling into you, Natasha?
Um, it's just like own it. It's time to step out of the woods and be seen and heard, and you can do it, and you are ready, and just jump and fly.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I wrote something, oh, but now I can't find it. Oh, anyway, I always write some stuff down, and then sometimes if I don't highlight it and get it ready. Just jump. Yeah. Oh, I was relating this story on our Global Minga Live yesterday, and I've been in contact with Sarah, who's right now at TOSA, and I was literally meditating, and then all of a sudden the image came to my mind, and we were in this quicksand in, like, the jungle, and I was up to my knees, but she was just, like, at the edge. So she was able to manage to hop out fairly quickly, and then she's looking around for something to give me, and then the next thing that popped crossed my mind's eye was the Indiana Jones movie, in the 4th movie where, what is it? Mariel throws him a snake, and the snake it's the most terrifying thing he could possibly imagine, and he knows it's his only lifeline, and he has to do it, but he's just, "Oh, ah, oh, yeah, oh, I don't wanna do this, I'm doing this, I don't wanna do this, I'm doing this, I don't wanna do this, I do this." And sometimes, like, claiming your divine mastery, at least for the part of this last tail end of this month, felt a lot like that to me. Was like, "Okay, I'm doing this, I don't wanna do this. I'm doing this, I don't wanna do this." And it was literally one of the most exhilarating yet terrifying experiences of my life. And but the good thing is I could literally feel Sarah and then you guys, um, who these for those of you who don't know, Natasha and Sarah and Pauline, who are all members of our Global Minga group and Yoga of Self Ascension, we have been kind of the cross of perfect balance. And we did a beautiful 17-day challenge, which is still up at the Global Minga Facebook page if you want to go back and do it all over again. But we've been kind of going through a journey this month together where we were riding this glorious, beautiful high and we were flowing together. And then our challenge ended. And I don't know about you, Natasha, but for me, it was almost like I was like, I'm flying, I'm flying. It's like on those cartoons where you see the character, the flying and flying, and they think they've got this, and then they realize, nope, nope, I don't. Nope, down they go, and that's kind of what it felt like. It's like, "I've got this, I've got this, I've got this," and there's some piece that was missing, and it was like, "Nope, nope," and down I went, and I crashed hard, hard, because had gone into such of a high of the flow, but then there was something that just triggered me off, and I was like, "Nope, nope, don't have the skills yet." Boom. Did you find that as well?
Yeah, I found that. I was gonna say that like December was a month of challenges. Like we had the beautiful challenges in Global Minga, but like in life, it was a bunch of challenges and navigating and going, yes, okay. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. And just continually saying yes and working through the process. And it's just when you were talking about the cartoon, yeah, all I pictured was like Wile E. Coyote and the road runner. I can't talk. Um, and you know they run out into the sky, and then the coyote looks down, and then just like falls. That's what came into my head. It's like don't look down. Damn it, I looked down. You know.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um, and I did the only thing that I think for me was, trusting, holding on to that trust, that and that knowing that you have 100% survived everything that's been put in front of you before, so you're gonna 100% survive this too. And
Yes.
so with that kind of attitude is what I I felt I needed to get through it all, and that's truly what I embraced. You came up with something beautiful today. What was it this morning? You were saying that we're
Oh,
peeling off the onion layers. Yeah,
so it just popped into my head today. It was like every healing process that we go through and every like up level or whatever you want to call it that we go through,
yeah,
the ego has a grieving process. Like there's a grieving process of like, oh, I just let go of this. Now what? Like, what am I now? Like, then you're like grieving that you used to be. I
yeah,
mean, because we can shift people or shift who we are in
yeah,
like minutes or days. And like there's I think after the challenge for me, there was a little bit of a grieving process. Was like, whoa, yay, we're doing this challenge and our group was all meeting every day and talking and sharing and then we all kind of went our separate ways. Lack of better words. And then like
yeah,
that was like, oh. And then like so kind of like the shock and then like a little bit of anger but not like and then you have the reflection and then feel the loneliness and then
mm,
you start like processing that and then you work through it and then you accept it and it's just like all you can do that in a matter of like seconds, minutes, days. It just depends on what you want to do, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
like every journey, every choice, every process has that little bit of a grieving process and it's kind of just like the point of like, okay, am I gonna sit in it or am I gonna just move through
yeah.
it? Like, how am I
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
this?
It's like one of the things that I think where we get stuck is we get hung up on that.
Yes.
Something happens and we go, oh, we're here again. Oh,
Yes. And like I kind of like just wrote like it's okay to not be okay. And we have this thing of
yes,
like we just like to share the good stuff with people and we don't want to share like dude, I'm really struggling at the moment. Like I just want someone to talk to so I can like get work through it. And
yeah,
sometimes having that person to talk to, you can work through and navigate faster than if you're just sitting there by yourself going, what is this? Why do I
exactly.
feel this way? I'm not supposed to feel this way anymore. And then, that's where the judgment comes in. And then you have to be like, oh, wait, why do I feel this? What in me invited this to me?
Exactly, so perfect segue. So releasing judgment. Um, I think one of the I think that's gonna be the key word, releasing judgment and being in the place of non-judgment, is going to be like the keywords for 2023, and that's the topic for today, and when I feel into non-judgment, what really I the struggles for December for me, when I say I was like flying off the ski jump and then all of a sudden, no, I can't fly and or I don't have the skills to land this puppy and down I come. It's like, okay, well, I know the skills are there. And I sat with myself and I worked through the processes and I embraced the lack of skills. I embraced my grieving process, all from a place of non-judgment of that, okay, well, that's great. That's past. I'm seeing these pictures before me. I don't have to emotionally in them. I'm going to keep myself not distant from them, but from a place of loving detachment. That's again the most beautiful words. Loving detachment that I can see that, but I'm not there. I'm not part of that now. What is in me that invited this to be, right? It always comes down to that. And can step over the stumbling block of I'm here again and be sit in that non-judgment. You can the answers will come to you eventually and you'll get that inspired action to step up and step out. Um, and it's truly an amazing place, and it's a very quiet, humble place I've found. I don't know if you've felt into that energy, and what how what's coming through for you, Natasha?
So when you were talking about that, it's like kind of like releasing the expectations of the outcome. Like, we have these expectations on how things should look or how we want things to look, and then sometimes that is not what happens, and so we just kind of like go, dang it, I'm not doing it right, or I'm not doing this, or I need more work, or I need to do this or that. And actually, like, if you kind of step back and look at it from a different perspective, it's pretty
Mhm.
much like what you called in or asked for. It just looks different than what you wanted it to look like.
Yeah, that's also a key too, is the non-judgment even goes to the process of the manifestation.
Right?
Like, so in order for the manifestation to happen, you have to have no judgment in how it's going to happen or any
Right.
kind of, cemented expectations on what is going to be presented to you or how it's going to be presented. It really the non I can't drive this home enough, guys, that place of non-judgment and that loving detachment of this doesn't have I see where everyone's coming from. You have that level of compassion. You have that level of love for whatever it is out there, whether it be yourself, another person, an event, something going on out there in the world. You see their perspectives and you're able to keep the compassion and love in your heart for all those perspectives. But there's a knowing on a level that it's not my story, it's their story. And so I'm not going to get my emotions and my energy wrapped up in their story, but I see where they're coming from. I
Mhm.
understand their plight, and I'm going to lovingly hold them in their journey, however it may look, whatever the shade, so that I hope when they pass on and transition, ooh, tiger present, lion present. I saw a cattail. So when
Yes.
we pass on or transition to the next plane or then we do so lovingly and knowingly that we did our jobs and they did theirs, or not jobs, it's a horrible lack of better
I like
term.
to say, like, they played their part well.
Yeah, they played their part well. They played their like, they had their lives, they came here for their reasons, their expectations on what living in this biological suit was going to be like as a
Right.
spiritual being. And they had goals and things that they want to accomplish in their life. That's my understanding and belief. And that self-ascension is basically um, working up through the I like to say it's kind of working your way up through the ranks of consciousness. So you're out eating and this is very simplistic example, but you're out there needing to kill for to eat. You're under that idea of competition. You're under that idea of um, survival of
Com-
the fittest, all of that kind of stuff. And until you work your way up and they're like, "Oh, well, no, I don't need to do that. No, I don't need to be that way. No, I can." You mean that love is just love and it doesn't matter if it comes from, a male with a male or if it's a man or a woman, it's just love. Like you begin to work your way up through the levels of consciousness basically until you
Mhm.
kind of get to that level of non-detachment where you see, okay, I'm seeing my story now more clearly than ever. I'm understanding my story now more clearly than ever. And then I'm seeing everyone else's story so much more blissfully clearer than ever.
Yes.
I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with that, and it's being okay with that so that you can look at whatever the shade, because remember, all shades are love, all shades are light. That's a better way of thinking about it. If all we are is light in the universe, all shades are light, right? So, regardless of shade, all shades are light, and all light is love. So that means all shades are love, boys and girls. And so if you can kind of see that and see that their shade or their journey, um, in this plane, this suit, is their journey, and I see mine more clearly, I see theirs more clearly, and I'm not gonna be with those because our energies don't match, but good on you, buddy, good on you, keep going.
Right.
And I'm gonna be with the shade that matches me and the frequency that matches me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's kind of how I see the yoga of self-ascension, and when you get to those levels, you'll begin to pull that tribe. Did you find that, Natasha? You begin to pull the tribe of people just seem to gravitate towards you. I know I
Yeah.
did. You're here.
I'm like, yes, there's definitely like, and it's just kind of happened in the last like year for me is like the tribe coming together of like-minded people that you can just like sit and talk to all day about everything and they like totally understand and get it.
Yes, totally.
Or
Well, for
like see you
example,
and hear you. We're like, okay, yes, I know.
yes, I know. I think that's what I for, going back to, the Global Minga Challenge and then the highs of the December, I think that's what I enjoyed the most for we were only on camera for Global Minga for, like, 10, maximum 15 minutes every morning for 17 days. But
Mhm,
afterwards, we were, stuck in the Zoom chat, usually anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour with
mhm.
just the 4 of us conflabbing about spirituality, raising kids, being at home, yoga of self-ascension, global Ming, you name it. And it's once you find your tribe and you pull them and they pull together and you become this kind of unit that thinks and finishes each other's sentences. I think Pauline said it beautifully.
Right.
Literally, we just begin to finish each other's sentences and we begin to step in or if something were to happen and you can't be there, and that happened a few times,
Oh yeah.
you know that there's somebody behind you. So don't be
Mhm,
afraid to shine your light however strong it is, and whatever level of shade that you might be in at that point. If
mhm.
you are pulling yourself and you're resonating and you're saying, "No, I'm" and you're looking around, how does that resonate with you when you round in that level of again, what did you do yourself out of that, Natasha? What resonates with you there on how to
Um, so I I have an interesting like process, I guess. I actually have to like look at the word. So, if we're talking about judgment, then I look at like what judgment means to me and like how what comes up with the word judgment, like what in me is wanting to be released when you're looking at this word. And so like looking at the definition of judgment in like this potentiality or whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
and then like okay, so for me like judgment means like casting like a decision or accusation or something on other people, including myself. And I'm like, okay, so what does that bring up? And then I start going through like how we're just like kind of programmed to judge everything as we're growing up, and like we're no, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. We're even like judged on how smart we are based on our grades in school, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then like going through that process of like, oh, okay, well these are just stories that my family and society have told me, and I've like started telling myself that I had to judge things just because that's how we live. And then it was funny because one of the stories that popped into my head while I was thinking about judgment earlier was I was in like kindergarten and we were supposed to draw a picture of a bear. And
mhm.
like I got in trouble because I didn't draw a realistic bear. Like I colored it purple or blue, like obviously like that. They're like, bears are not blue. And I'm like, yes, they are. And they're like, no. And like, so My mom was like, she can color them however she wants to. She's using her imagination. And then I was thinking about the show The Care Bears.
Yeah,
They're all different colors. Like I
yeah,
was just thinking outside. I was already thinking outside the realm of
yeah,
density. Then I'm like, no, there's rainbow colored bears, and there's this, and there's that, and just So it's kind of funny. And then it's just like the process of like, okay, and then just going and getting to that core, which is usually like a life script, and then going back to the NIM class and like
Nim.
shutting that shutting that like life script down, and then
Yeah,
like, okay, yes, I choose different. Like I've been in this cycle before and I am complete with it. So let's move on and choose different.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's kind of just accepting those like, okay, I feel a little lonely, or okay, I feel a little sad. And then you can definitely spiral with that if you want. Like I mean, I did a little and then I'm like, whoa, wait, I don't
Mhm.
want to spiral. Like,
Yeah,
why do I feel this way? And then it's like, okay, well, this is complete and this is complete. And, we're in this process of creating new stuff. So we're in like the birthing and the void. And sometimes the void and the birthing process is uncomfortable and a little sad and a little lonely. And like, being okay being uncomfortable. Like, there's a time we don't like being uncomfortable. We have to get okay being uncomfortable and just let it flow.
like pulling yourself out of quicksand using a python.
Right?
Another Indiana Jones. It's totally I'm full of them. Um, oh my goodness, that resonates with me, absolutely. Um, what came forward to me first was just your process of how you do it and that how it was so different to my own where I'm more like I'm take more the logical analytical side and my mind immediately takes over as opposed to my emotions. I think that's from because as a child, I learned that my emotions would get me in trouble.
Mhm.
Um, so I would just keep them squashed. So then I found something called Star Trek. As a child, and I'm not kidding, I was a very young child, and, I will admit that Doctor Spock probably had or Mr. Spock had a little not Doctor Spock, something else. Mr. Spock had a great influence on me and just trying to, "Okay, so let's take the emotions out of it because those get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Let's look at this from like be Dr. Spock, look at this from or I did it again. Mr. Spock and look at this from that perspective. And so that's how I learned how to and that just really cemented literally right here on camera, folks, for me of why I look at things the way I did. So thank you, Natasha, for that gift because that's literally what it was. I knew it always had something to do with Spock because I at such a young age I idolized that, but that truly is probably how it really cemented because I started watching that show from a very young age. It was over by the time I was born, but it was on reruns by the time I was born, so that was on the TV all the time I was growing up in the early '70s, so, yeah, that really does play a part, so I came from it from a more mind perspective, so I kind of look at it more logically, and it really wasn't till that place where I cemented all of the knowing that my ego is just a bunch of lessons, the knowing that I have these series of life scripts, the knowings that and then as I'm knowing these, I'm releasing the energy from my body as I'm calling out these knowings at the same
Mhm.
time until I literally got down into the point where I'm a divine being that's not is just here having this experience in this jellified suit of mush, and it's just a play and an experience, and that I'm here to have fun and to enjoy, and that I see my path more clearly in loving detachment, and I see everybody else's in loving detachment.
Yes.
It's it brings you to a level of calm and understanding within yourself that and a lift off of who you are. Like, it's like a part of you that you didn't even know was there just kind of goes punk and suction cups off you, and you're like, "I didn't even know that was there."
Right?
And for those of you who work with energy too, you kinda you get used to it running through your body and going
Mhm,
through your body, but when you are, um when you're an energy healer or something like that, and you feel that portion of you let go, you're like, "I didn't even know that was there." It lends to another level of, "Wow." It does, it lends to another level of awe and amazement of what you had been carrying around and what you released and what you're capable of releasing. Because once you look back too and see all of that you've just released,
mhm.
the awe, the wonder, the thanks, right? The level of thanks. Like, look at this beautiful purple violet-haired goddess. This is the level of glowingness that you accomplish. Like, it truly is, amazing. Oh, Elizabeth O'Mara, acknowledging that no matter what's going on, love is at its core. All of
Yeah.
us are so perfectly supported to grow into who we are, which is the manifestation of love. Trust is love. So, yep, trust is love, light is love, so therefore trust is light. It's all of us, it's everything. There's allness and oneness, and we could go down that rabbit hole too. Do we wanna go down that?
I was just what popped in my head was like, so we always say trust the process, like so
Yeah,
love the process, you know? It's a process and it's there for a reason. It's there to help you heal and release and expand ever greater, right?
yes,
Like
exactly. Good
even
rule of
though
thumb.
sometimes we're like, no, I can't
Exactly.
do this. I don't
No,
want to look at that ugly part of me. No. There's those things where we're like, ooh, that one is really uncomfortable. I'm not sure I want to look at that yet.
yeah, yeah,
But they come up. You can't avoid it. No matter how hard you try. Yeah.
mhm, exactly. What came up for me, I found something interesting, and this leads back into the what in me invited this to be, is go through your life and interchange love and trust. So, I love you. When you say I love you to somebody, can you say I trust you to somebody? And
Mhm.
that goes for yourself too,
Yes.
right?
That's that's
And
really like my process is like trusting myself.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and that's my number one. I think in a lot of cases, people who are in finding their self-ascension and spirituality and their connections to spirit, I think we all tend to have those idiosyncrasies where we're beating ourselves up, or we have those little life scripts, and we tend to hang on to them. I don't know about you, we love to hang on to them and
The
not
shoulda, woulda, couldas.
coulda, woulda, couldas. Uh-huh, uh-huh. But oh, this also just came up for me. What helped me get through the shoulda, woulda, couldas was part of it was, last night, I was literally watching my husband was watching, he came to me, and he's like, "Have you ever heard of this movie called," it's an Agatha Christie, And Then There Were None?
Mm,
And I said, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah." I said, I was actually I've been in a play. I used to act and do theater, and I said, "I've been in that play." And, so I was comparing it, and he would come to me I was in the kitchen making dinner, so he was watching it, and he'd come to me and he'd say, "Oh, what about this? And how did this play out? And how did this play out?" And I would say, "Oh, am I dead yet? Or has this happened yet? Have I done this yet? Or have I done that?" And I was literally equating myself with the person on the screen, and that really slammed home that whole it's all fun, folks, and I then I got thinking back to the joys of being in that play and all the great
mhm.
memories that I had with it, and yes, I had to die, and I had to faint on a couch, and I didn't enjoy any of that part, but it was so much fun and so many memories that I built, and just simply play in a play, but for me, in that frame of time, it was totally real and totally part of my life. But if you can step out beyond that and see that your life is like that, that
Mhm.
you don't really, the only problem is on a play, there's a beginning and an end, and there isn't that in life. It's just then there's the next play, and then you turn the next page to the next play, and then you
Yep.
turn to the next play. So who are you gonna be in this play? Who are you gonna be in this situation? Who are you gonna be in this event? And for most of those, you once you find who you are at the core, you will stay consistent through each of those events, and you will be who you truly are through each of those events, as opposed to mimicking and putting yourself um, into the roles of the event. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like your ego's
Yeah,
taking
the
over.
repeating the past characters.
Yes, exactly. Um, so, but I think at the core of it, that's what make actors so good at their jobs, is at the core of it, they are literally living the levels of consciousness, and then some of them have caught on to it and figured it out, Jim
Mhm.
Carrey and so on, but others haven't quite caught on to it, and they're still kind of wallowing in their character development and their character, and they're wallowing through switching because they can't find themselves,
Yeah.
um and I've learned that firsthand,
Right.
being on this side of that, myself personally, but also watching friends and stuff, is that tends to be what happens, is so I can't find my true self, so I'll just move on to the next character. But
Yes.
life is just a constant series of plays and fun and events, and once you find your true self, that's the character you will be playing through each and every one of those events.
And you just get brighter and brighter and brighter.
And as you get brighter and brighter and brighter, your tribe begins to see you and gather around you. And then
Mm,
here's the joy, as I said this to a community member today, the beautiful thing is once you've found the light for yourself, then you get to turn around and hold the light for somebody else and
yes.
help them until they can find the light for themselves and can turn
Mhm.
around and hold the light for somebody else.
Yes.
And that's the most amazing gift I think we can ever give to each other and to the world. It just
Yeah, and it's all about like allowing, like, um you can only shine your light as bright as you allow, right? Like when you're
yeah,
navigating this whole yoga of self ascension or just the self healing aspect, like what are you willing to look at and what are you willing to navigate at that moment in time, and what are you allowing yourself to dive deeper, or are you just doing the stuff on the surface at the moment, and then like when do you, and it's all a personal journey, and then like when do you actually like get in and dive into the core to
mhm,
that like emptiness. I'm sure like everyone's felt it. There's like that emptiness inside of you that you like have been searching and searching and searching like for things to fill it, and like you're like, okay, this will help, and then it only helps for a little while, and then you like start searching for other things, and like when I found the path of yoga of self-ascension, I kind of, that's when I stopped searching. Like I
yeah,
haven't searched for like 4, I think it's been 4 years now. It might be 5. I don't know. I can't keep track.
yeah,
But like, but I still had like this emptiness inside of me. But like doing the work and just diving and allowing the process and releasing the things that come up throughout, and like the traumas or like these stories and all this, and the mean girl talking in the head and all this and all that, like getting to the point where I can just look in the mirror and say I love you and just smile and not cringe was amazing. And like I feel full, I feel complete, and I just feel like I live every day with peace, love, and joy, no matter what the experience.
yeah,
Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's sad. and then I can just like navigate through it and just be like, okay, that happened.
Yeah,
Like, what was it? Like, what was the lesson? Like, what was the gift that I received from this? Is it was just like being in my divine mastery presence at that moment for everyone else to like have their moments in whatever way they need to have their moments, and being like, okay, I see you all.
yeah,
You know, the loving detachment that you said, you know, you guys have your journey. That's what this is how it was called in. I see it like this. You guys can see it however you want. And we can all just be together, or I'll stand over here and you guys can have your moment.
yeah, exactly. Um, and that's kind of, in a lot of ways, a lot of people are worried because 'cause they're always when they go on spiritual paths, people will fall away.
Yes.
That's just natural, and let them again, because that's their journey and this is yours. But no, and this is what I've always said to family and friends, and it's like, I'm just gonna go on my own path. Know that I'm here, that I love you. I'm not that's never gonna change. I'm not going anywhere. But
Right.
right now, we're just not gelling,
Right.
and I love you, and, I'm just gonna go do my own thing. I'm gonna go sit on my mountaintop for a little while and figure this thing out, and
Yes.
be around some like-minded people that way,
Hmm.
and try and come from it from that sincere point of view, and it's really it has and, like, folks, I even missed my sister's wedding, like, because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's okay not to be okay, and I think
Yeah.
maybe that's also a tip right there, because when
Right.
you think, "Oh," and when you've peeled that layer off, you know, like what Natasha going back to what Natasha was saying, and you're feeling that first wound of, "Oh, I'm" you've gone off the ski lift and you've fallen down, "I've done it again," and then the stepping up, the step up or the trip up is literally falling into that pit, but if you can just say, "Oh," and have the wherewithal and the awareness, and the inspiration of your life behind you. I love how this is going. The inspiration of your life behind you and seeing the gifts that it's giving you, it gives you a chance to rise again. And it's never really truly, I like to say, it's never really a truly a start over. Once I found the yoga of self-ascension and really embraced it, I stopped having to start over.
Yes.
Because and finding yourself, so whatever modality you choose, whether the yoga,
Oh yeah.
self-ascension, or whatever, once you find yourself, you truly never have to start over again. Because, like I said, you're walking through the next play as yourself. You don't have
Mhm.
to take on the next person. You don't have to take on the next role, and that's really truly oh my goodness, 2 minutes left, Natasha.
Oh
That's
wow.
really truly what came to me over the course of this, process getting ready for this show today. It's been such a powerful moment. Omara said, "Just keep dancing, and if at all possible, make it fun."
Totally.
Thank you. Um, I yes, I've, one of my visions for 2023 is being on the sea of neutrality, and I was literally envisioning myself, and I don't know why I love ballet dancing. I am obviously not a ballet dancer, but I love ballet dancing, and I was literally envisioning, like, nutcrackering and sugar plum fairing it over the waves of the sea of neutrality and just dancing and twirling along in 2023, and that's kind of the vision I'm holding on to. I'm keeping it fairly abstract because I don't wanna get my judgments involved, right?
Right.
I don't wanna get the judgments involved. But that's how I'm kind of viewing is just keep dancing, folks. Keep the lightheartedness, the gratitude. I think gratitude, keeping gratitude in your heart is your first step, and gratitude for yourself, opening your eyes. My husband says that every morning. I'm grateful. I'm above ground. I'm happy to be breathing. I'm like he says some rendition of that usually daily. And I think that's probably the first step to never having to start over again. Yeah.
Yes. I usually the first sentence I write in my journal every morning is I am so grateful to have another day and another opportunity to experience this.
I've been officially formed. He says, "I woke up with a heartbeat today." Of course, it's a great day. I woke up with a heartbeat.
Cruise control.
Cruise control. So, I woke up with a heartbeat on cruise control. So, it's a good day. That's then on the note of that, I didn't even really get to share Sarah's beautiful pictures from Toast of Blue Mountain. I'll have to share those on Global Minga with everybody instead. So go over to there. There's your reason for heading over to Global Minga Ascension Renaissance Facebook page, because I will be posting those pictures, or Sarah will be posting those pictures up on that page. I know for sure they'll be going up there. So either way, head on over there and you will see all of the beautiful pictures and sunrise this morning at Toast of Blue Mountain. Just, it was literally spectacular. Yes, gratitude is the engine of my life. Moving forward, such a gift to be here. Oh, it's such a gift to have you too. Thank you so, so much, everybody. Thank you, Natasha. I don't know about you folks, but put down in the comments, hey, we like Natasha. Have Natasha on more as a guest host. Put Natasha in the because I think that would be amazing. Natasha on again for sure, because there's so much that we can talk about and so many different perspectives. Even just talking to you here and seeing how you work through it from the very different way that I worked for it. And that's what Awakenings Moments to Inspire is all about, is to hear the stories and the inspirations of people and how they walk through their lives and how they get each onion layer off and down to who they are. So Natasha, it has been an absolute honor and so, so, so much fun. So I really want you to come back for sure. But we are completely and totally and utterly out of time, folks. So I can't wait to see you all again next week. We will then be in the middle of the 7 days of rest, and I can't wait to be with you there. We'll see what we can co-create in that hour. Have a great day, everyone. We love you all out there. Gary, Elizabeth, Lynn, love you all. Much love. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, see you next year. My husband just whispered, see you next year. See you next year, everybody. Bye.